Good morning. We will go ahead and get started with the November 8th special events team meeting. We've got two events presenting to us today, two really fun events, recurring ones that are great additions to our community. Look forward to hearing from event organizers. As per our usual, we'll go around the table and do introductions so everyone knows who's in the room. With introductions, I will wait till we go around the table in the room to call on the folks that are online. But then when we, after event organizers give their presentations and we go around for questions, I'll call on online folks as they would be sitting at the table if I remember to do so. But as you all can imagine, I had a bit of a late night last night. So please, if I missed something, just you'll understand it's because I'm operating on very little sleep and I'm an old lady now who needs sleep. So welcome to the Special Events Committee. My name is Maria Waig. I'm with the City of Boise Office of Community Engagement and Office of the Mayor. And we'll go ahead and start with ACHD.
John Wasson, Ada County Highway District.
Tanya Motisi, Ada County Highway District.
Conrad McDaniel, Republic Services.
Vince Vergara, City of Boise Parking.
Julianne Hagler, City Risk Management.
Sierra Padilla Hewitt, Downtown Boise Association.
Summer Altieri, Boise Parks and Rec.
Joe Deathman, Boise Fire Operations.
Jesse Tappert, Boise Fire Prevention.
Cameron Colos, Boise Police Department.
Taylor Gomez, Boise Police Department.
Kyle Wills, Boise Police.
Steve Walker, State of Idaho.
Rachel Holford, City of Boise Emergency Preparedness.
Dino Sugar, City Clerk Office.
Kelly Frank with the City Clerk's Office.
Ed,
Ed Graves, Public Works.
Dinko,
Dinko, Central District Health.
Sierra,
Sierra Garachana, Boise City Office of Community Engagement.
and Cameo.
Camille Rogers, Ada County Paramedics.
Terrific. Thanks, everyone. First up, we have Boise Bicycle Project with their 2023 Holiday Kids Bike Giveaway event. I think this is the first time you're coming in front of the full team as the event has grown. I think so. You guys have gotten so successful. It's time to come before us.
My name is Julia Mace, and I'm the event and outreach coordinator for Boise Bicycle Project. This year on December 16th, a Saturday, we're doing our Holiday Kids Bike giveaway, where we give out about 500 to 600 bikes to underserved kids in the community. It will run Saturday the 16th from 9 to 5. Location will be at our shop on Lusk Street, including a road closure on Lusk between Island and Royal, and along the side of our block on Island Street. We expect 1,300 attendees, about 400 on site throughout a time. And of that, about 1,200 will be participants and 100 volunteers and staff members. It's our 17th year of operation for this event. However, in the past, we've qualified for a block party, and due to the event getting bigger and expanding our footprint, we're here today as a special event. Just to bring a smile to everyone's face, on the screen is a photo of one of the drawings that kids bring to us with their dream bike. And the heart of the event is that kids are referred to us via social workers, counselors, etc., our community support workers, and they draw their dream bike, and we go ahead and make that happen through donations of bicycle frames and working bikes from our community. And then we go ahead and dreamify those with sparkly streamers and different stickers, colored grips, etc., to make the kids' dream bike. And day of the event, they go ahead and receive those bikes. Schedule for the event. I don't recall specifics on when I submitted the ACHD permit versus the City of Boise permit. The only change that you might see is per ACHD having the road closure start at 6 o'clock on the 15th to avoid the peak hours on road traffic. So 6 o'clock on the 15th, we'll go ahead and close that L-shaped section of road and go ahead and proceed with tent load in from event rent and all of our miscellaneous setup. And then Saturday, the 16th, we'll begin day of setup bright and early. Event will begin at 9 o'clock. And then we'll have participants coming in throughout the day to receive their bicycles, receive safety training, and some resources from community partners in terms of food and warm clothing. Event will wrap up at 5 o'clock, and then we'll have a 3-hour breakdown of the event, and the road will open at 8 o'clock. We're contracted with MAV Event Services for security. At this time, we're planning on 2 overnight security personnel to watch the area where we have things set up. And then during the event, we'll have 4 people on security, specifically at the entrance exit point from our BSU parking lot, and then throughout the event. Lost children will be supervised by a volunteer at the resolution tent. Accessibility event is held on paved surfaces. We have 2 ADA portable toilets that will be on site, and then we have 2 ADA units indoors. Again, disabled parking will be on site through a lot that we are using via BSU. Medical, I spoke to Cameo about this, but we'll have a first aid station inside BBP, warm area with all necessary supplies. We have a resolution tent on site to help with event specific things, but also go ahead and assist with lost children, any directions, emergency situations, etc. Portable toilets will be given to us via Porta-Pros. Community notification, I went ahead and spoke to Downtown Boise about that. We went ahead and got letters of support from our immediate neighbors that the event will be affecting, and they are in support of the event. And then trash and recycling, we're not expected to generate any excess trash beyond our usual. I went ahead and completed the CDH notification of event. The CHD approved the road closure with a note on that 6 o'clock staging and implementation time. And then we have a COI completed through Philadelphia insurance companies. Looks like this got a little bit cut off, but we have the closure along Lusk, and then the bottom is Island. We will have some larger 10 by 20 boats, and then a variety of 10 by 10 tents, each with heaters to keep people warm. Those have been sourced through Event Rent, just standard patio heaters. First aid station inside Boise Bicycle Project's physical office. And then we will have a closure along that south part of Island for our Learn to Ride safety station. And then last page is just our letters of support from our local neighbors. Thank you.
Terrific, thank you. We will start, do you want to maybe, should we put the map up as we do questions? That is usually fairly helpful. Thank you. ACHD.
We've approved your traffic control, which is awesome. We're just waiting on your CUP from the city of Boise.
Great, thanks.
Question for you. Are you going to set up and leave the tent set up overnight on Friday night into Saturday morning?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning.
Oh, wait, let's go to Ed.
Sorry, yeah.
Hi, sorry, I'm just gonna quickly mention if this great event continues to grow, just keep in mind, we have some available trash boxes or recycling containers free to loan. So if you ever need that, but it sounds like you have a pretty good judgment of it. So thank you. That's all I've got.
Thank you.
All right, good morning. The map looks like there's gonna be food and cookies, so I would assume some generation of trash.
The cookies are going to be eat on site, come in some sort of plastic bag, and that will be it. And then food is all going to be procured through community resources, food pantry style, non-perishables, et cetera, for people to bring home. It's not intended to be eaten on site.
Okay. And Boise Bicycle Project has their own dumpsters anyway, just in case you do get a bag or two of trash.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, great, thank you.
Julia, thank you for working with me and letting me know the section of Lusk that you guys, we're going to close down the 2 time zones that are in there, but we're set to go. We know what you're up to and we're good. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks.
And Dingo?
Good morning, Julia. We had an email exchange about this, I think a couple of weeks ago, but just to confirm, are there going to be any food vendors like food trucks or someone setting up a booth that are actually serving or selling food on site?
No, there will be no food of that sort eaten on site.
Okay, understood. If that's the case, then you are good to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Julia. I was just looking over your insurance. The insurance covers, but we'll need a COI that states the city of Boise as an additional insured.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Hey, Julia, thanks for reaching out early. We're all set.
Thanks.
Nothing from us, but what a great event you guys do. Thank you.
Thanks, Summer.
Sierra?
Hi, Julia. I don't have anything to add from an accessibility perspective, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cameo?
Good morning. My apologies for not going on camera. I'm a little under the weather today. I think we're good. If you could just get us a contact information on the personnel that are going to be there for the first aid booth. That's all I have. Thank you.
Will do.
Yeah, thanks for getting on this early. This is a great event. My only concern is with the access to the buildings inside your footprint. If we could maintain a 15-foot clearance, so we could get a fire truck down that main corridor if we had to, and underneath your welcome arch, that would be fantastic. That's my only concern at this point. If you guys can assure that, I think we're good. The medical plan is perfectly adequate for this. But once again, I do appreciate you guys coming forward and getting ahead of this. This is an awesome event. I think it's great and good luck. If we can ensure that 15-foot of clearance, that would be great.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you. I echo that too. How big is your largest tent?
10 by 20.
10 by 20? Okay. And the patio heaters that you mentioned, are those the mushroom style heaters? Okay.
Yeah.
It'd just be where you can't put those inside any tent. Okay.
Okay.
And then I see that you submitted your special events permit. So if you can just pay attention to access and all that, will be good to go.
Great. Thank you.
Nothing from BPD on the alcohol side.
Nothing else from us. We've got a signed citizen use permit and it's been sent to you. So you should be good to go there, and great event. Thanks.
The state has nothing.
Good morning, Julia. It's nice to see you again. Love this event. You guys do such a great job. Thank you so much for getting ahead of this and sending over all your documentation. Really all we'll need is if you make any changes to that footprint, please let us know in advance, especially if you have to move stuff around to allow for that ingress egress lane. Outside of that, we are good to go and appreciate everything. So good luck.
Thank you.
I'm good too. I don't need anything, but if you have any questions or as it gets closer, don't hesitate to reach out. I know that area is changing so much, which is really nice, but still a little construction and Boise State graduation, but you guys have done well working around that in the past. So thank you for being mindful of those things.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Up next, Idaho Potato Drop. Dylan, are you presenting? Yes. Fantastic. Do you guys, maybe, can we get them this extra mic, Conrad, that's right next to you? There's, with 4 of them, I think we'll probably want a couple more mics. Plus, these mics are way better than the handheld ones. Welcome back, you guys.
Push to talk? Does it work with, oh, sweet, okay. All right, thanks. All right, so we are presenting for the 11th Annual Idaho Potato Drop. We will be hosting it again at Cecil D. Andrus Park. The event lands on a Sunday this year, so it's made things a little bit easier with some workaround with downtown businesses, as obviously most businesses will be closed on Sunday. And I believe you should have a thumb drive. Okay, you got it pulled up there.
I think, is there a way? Here.
Oh.
I'll get it.
Okay, there we go. All right, so you all should have the flat map information that we provided there. The event location again is at Cecil D. Andrus Park. It will be in the confines from Jefferson to from 6th to 8th Street, down to Bannock from 6th to 8th Street, and Capitol Boulevard from Jefferson Boulevard to Idaho Street, and within the confines of Cecil D. Andrus Park. Start times, setup times will be Thursday, December 28th. Our first closure at Capitol Street from Bannock will be at 5 p.m. At Jefferson. Friday, we have a dumpster drop-off at the corner of Jefferson and 6th Street with no additional closures. Saturday, December 30th, we close Bannock from Capitol at 6th Street at 9 a.m. Sunday, December 31st, there's a closure at Bannock and 8th Street, Jefferson Boulevard from 6th to 8th Street, and then Capitol to Idaho Street at 9 a.m. Next, we've got the estimated number of attendants. We've kind of broken that down into time slots there. So estimated number at 6 p.m. is about 300 people, 7 p.m. about 1,000 people, and this is just based on what we've seen over the years at the park there. 8 o'clock, 2,000 people, 9 o'clock, roughly 3,000 people, 10 p.m., 4,000, 11 p.m. to midnight. That's when we see the majority of our attendees, 5,000 people average plus. And then midnight to 1:30, usually people clear out and we just have about 250 people in our VIP room until about 1:30, and then we wrap it up. So the event overview asks event beneficiary and or benefits to the city of Boise. Most of us have seen the Idaho Potato Drop and what we do. We definitely engage with the community and support nonprofits. We support local businesses, local arts. We engage with local schools to create fun little programs at the event, like reading and writing contests. But some of the major benefits are would be what the tourism portion of our event brings. We see thousands of people from around the globe every year travel to Boise specifically for this event. We get almost daily contact form requests for realtors, for everything from sightseeing to tour guides to where's the best place to eat, where's the best hotel to stay at, what are some of the attractions. So our contact page might as well be askaboutidaho.com. So we definitely engage with the community a lot. But one of the programs that we've worked on recently is with a company called Travel Pirates out of the UK, and we've created a program that is offering flights for under $200 to Boise, Idaho, from Vegas, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Dallas, New Orleans, New York, Fort Lauderdale, Chicago, Washington, and Boston. And they have posted quite a bit. It's a worldwide campaign, so they're focused mainly in the United States, but they do have some deals outside of the country as well to Boise. Another benefit would be tourism and hotels. We find that with the influx of people coming to town, that the hotels in the last few years have become very packed. In fact, at capacity to the point to where our partner hotels don't even have room for us or our staff, which is great. The bed and head tax really supports the GBAD and the Greater Boise Auditorium District and downtown businesses as well. We were just recently, a few days ago, nominated by USA Today as the Reader's Choice Top 10 Award recipient. And that's pretty cool. That's a national campaign, and that's out of everybody in the country. So Idaho can be proud of that.
Please vote.
Please vote. We're currently at number 1 or number 2 right now in the country. Yeah, we can't get beat by Florida. Downtown Boise Association. So BSU students, we've got 2 of our class right here today. Everybody say hi. We've engaged with Boise State University to work with a group of students and their senior project. They're in business management, and we are showing these kids the ropes and how things work with the event world and how to get funded, how to protect the branding of the city of Boise, how to, everything that we're tasked with, all those responsibilities they're learning about, and some pretty cool real life experience for them, a real world experience in this realm, in the event realm. So that's been a lot of fun. We're engaging with our local schools in that way. Some years we work with national. In fact, we are in 4 different national school U.S. curriculum publications that will be that kids will be utilizing for their education for the next decade. So that's cool. We've been really engaging with the education portion of the event. Let's see. Pardon me. I went the wrong way. We also we host 10 nonprofits every year. We basically allow our sponsors and our partners to select the nonprofit that they feel either connects with their brand or that they feel the most passionate about. And we promote those 10 nonprofits throughout the year. We give them space at our event. We promote them through social media, through online presence. We offer a free one-page website to those nonprofits that can't afford it through our Idaho Charitable Events Foundation. And this is all pro se. It's that we take no money from anybody. In fact, we take the proceeds from the event, typically just go all back into supporting these causes. The 10 nonprofits this year are the Boise Rescue Mission, Good Samaritan Home, Idaho Suicide and Crisis Prevention Hotline, Idaho Food Bank, Idaho Partners for Good, Idaho Veterans Chamber of Commerce, JEM Friends, Jesse Tree, and NAMI.
And we're missing So Good on that list.
And So Good is in there too now. The number of years the event has occurred, we are now in our 11th year, and the 11th annual Idaho Potato Drop will be hosting the event for the 8th time at its current location in Capitol Park. I'm sorry, Cecil D. Andrews Park. These are just changes from last year to the current year. New Year's Eve was a Saturday last year. Obviously, it's a Sunday this year. We're using a new stage this year. Our production manager over there is Mike with MC Productions. You might remember his stage from Fit One or a few other events that the city's been involved in. Does a really good job. It's a brand new SL 100. I know that there was some issues with our stage last year, so we wanted to correct that and make sure that we're on top of that. We're in compliance and running a safe show. We're also using a new tenting company this year, 208. These guys right back here. And they've done a lot of really great work. They're fairly new in town, but they've done several events that you guys would recognize, and they do a really good job. We are also starting at 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. this year. As we did last year, we started at 7 last year. Event specifics, there's an event narrative. Their details are on page 10 of the handout we sent to you.
No, that's in the permit.
That is in the permit, okay. One of the questions asked in the permit is, how does your event complement the Boise community experience? Some of the notes we made were, our mission is to make Idaho a world-class destination for New Year's Eve while promoting commerce and community locally. Idaho, we promote the Idaho potato as a major source of Idaho's GDP. And we've got some metrics that support our influence on that pretty heavily. We put heads in beds at a very slow time of year, at a typically slow time of year. When we started this event, I could remember for the first 2 or 3 years working with Block 22 and Vicki Carly and some of those folks there, that one of the resounding complaints was that there was just, that time of year was typically slow. So that was not necessarily their bread and butter. And after, I believe the 4th or 5th year, we started seeing a lot of people coming in from out of town, and we were getting comments from local hoteliers, comments of gratitude, really, like, hey, we really appreciate what your event's done here. It's, you know, created commerce during a typically slow time of year. So that's been good to see and see that trend continue. We provide a New Year's Eve tradition for families and friends. Our event's been called Idaho's signature holiday event, and I wouldn't disagree with that. I think it's become an annual tradition that most Idahoans are proud of and really look forward to. You know, it creates a nice, wholesome environment that the whole family can attend and really feel good about. You know, it's we strive to not isolate any faction of our community at all. We try to embrace every person within our community, and we shy from supporting any one fact or one sect of our community over another. So we try to be inclusive with everybody, and I think this event has accomplished that. We've got Juice over here. This guy you can thank for creating the awesome effects that you see at our Urban Air exhibition. This guy, typically, he builds, him and his crew, his OS crew, build the Urban Air exhibition, and they perform. And this guy's won 2 out of the, what, 5 years? 3 out of the 5 years? Let's go with 2.
I'm going to do a plug for him. This 17th at the Egyptian Theater, his show Magnetic is going to be airing if anybody is.
It's the new Warren Miller.
Yeah.
This guy's the new Warren Miller.
Yeah.
Great show, though, if you guys can attend. Oh, and I'm playing also, my band hasn't played for 4 years. Matt Hopper and the Roman Candles will be playing at the BAC on the 17th if anybody wants to show up. Gonna be a great show. All right, back to this. So event specifics, concert and or other entertainment and start times. So pre-qualifiers are happening in the
Hey,
park.
Dylan, do you have
prior-
another slide?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I forgot. It's my. There we go.
There we go. All right, caught up. Okay, event specifics. We have our pre-qualifiers happening in the park prior to the event start time, which means Juice and his crew and all of the athletes that will be seeing and riding on the Urban Air exhibition will be lapping and basically doing pre-qual and kind of testing out the jump, making sure everything's smooth and going well. And we'll also be, at that time, live music will start on the main stage with Boise Rock School. The kids are back again for the 11th year in a row. Yeah. I believe the Idaho Potato Drop was the first live gig for the Boise Rock School too.
Yeah.
And I know Ryan Peck was really excited to get that going with me. So Boise Rock School starts off, then it will go into Hannah Strummer. She's a great local artist that's during COVID, she went from basically learning how to play guitar to having what, 250,000,
200,000 followers on Instagram.
which is what, 10 times
Three
what?
times more than KTVB.
Yeah. So it's, we're really proud of her and she does a really good job. She's kind of the next Taylor Swift in our opinion. So she's going to perform right after Boise Rock School. And then we will have the Gov coming back. If you can remember, they were the fun band in the costumes that were getting all crazy on stage with antics, and they've got kind of a almost like a play, a musical play on stage that they perform. So that's fun. They always write holiday songs specifically for the event. And then we're really excited about the next band. They're going to be performing 3 sets of 45-minute sets. They're called High Step Society. They're a favorite at Tree Fort. They're a favorite on the festival circuit. They're really coming up, and they're very, very popular. And they play a really good show. It's a family-friendly show, and it's sort of akin to almost a circus act on stage, but just a really great sound. I think it's something for everybody. They've got a really wide variety of songs, and so that should be a lot of fun. Also, throughout the event from 6 p.m. to midnight, we will be hosting cornhole tournaments. Also, just a few other small little games in the park, ring tosses, things like that. At 7 p.m., our VIP room will start, will open up, and that will go through 1:30 in the morning. And then at 8 p.m., the Urban Air exhibition itself will begin. So we'll have a couple hours of pre-quals, and then at 8 o'clock, we'll turn from the main stage over to the Urban Air exhibition, and Juice and the OS crew will get that going and get some people excited. Adrian, I think that's where I met you last year, was at the Urban Air exhibition. That's right. Yeah. All right. Any questions on that at all? 6 p.m. will also be the start time for the beer garden in the park as well. Vendor setup and dismantle dates and times. Mobile food vendors load in is at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Prior to that, park vendors will be setting up in the park Saturday and Sunday. Alcohol service start and end times again, beer garden at 6 p.m. Through midnight. And that's in the Cecil D. Andrews Park there. And then the VIP tent, beer and liquor will be 7 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. or a.m. Pardon me. Peak attendance dates, times. I think we sort of went over that. Sunday, the peak times are about 10 p.m. to midnight is when we see the most people down there, boots on the ground. Fireworks and pyrotechnic start and end times. The start times for the pyrotechnics are typically right at the stroke of midnight when the potato touches down. The winner of the Urban Air exhibition jumps through the flame columns with fireworks on the boots, just as the potatoes touching down, and that's the fireworks start time. And that is located in the same spot. The mortars are placed on Jefferson between 6th and 8th streets. See, the site plan is provided on thumb drive. We should have a map of that if you want to pull that up. Okay.
We can probably pull it up at the end if you guys want to look at it.
Oh yeah, we
Go
can pull that up
around.
at the end. And we emailed that all. You all should have it. I think we emailed it Tuesday, November 7th at noon to special events team. So everybody should have it. The security plan, alcohol service times, area containment, etc., emergency action plan. The beer garden containment in Cecil D. Andrews Park is from 6 p.m. to midnight, and the VIP tent on Bannock from 7 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Acute paramedics will be on hand. We've got Wes here. If there's any questions for him, and he's got his incident management plan. We've got MAV Security and Chuck's over there too. And again, he's got his incident management security plan as well. The Boise Police Department service agreement, we had sent that in and they should have that. We're just waiting for the signed agreement back. You have that, don't you, Rachel? Did we get that over to you in time? Oh, I'm sorry. We'll go around. Sorry. The Lost Child tent, this year, rather than pulling from our security services, we're going to staff that with an IPD staffer. The street closures are with Roadworks Ahead. And a couple of these companies we're working with are new this year, but they have been in business for a while. As I said, you're probably familiar with our staging guy, MC Productions. They've done quite a few with the city of Boise, but we're really looking forward to forging some new relationships with some new contractors that are at the top of their game. So we're excited about that. Let's see, the medical plan. The number in attendance is between 2,000 and 5,000, depending on the time. The event is held at night. Demographics are for everyone. We're a family-friendly community event. Weather is going to be variable from cold to wet, snowy conditions to dry. Alcohol is being served. Emergency vehicles at the corner of 8th and Bannock. Lost Child tent at the corner of Capitol and Bannock. Accessibility plan. Sidewalks on footprint. We're hoping they will be maintained when we arrive, and we plan to maintain them for any inclement weather that occurs while we're there. The restrooms will be facing into the park and away from the park. Restrooms facing into the park and away from the park. So we'll have access to both sides. The ADA restroom facilities will be provided again. We'll have proper sidewalk closure signage. Our trash and recycling plan is for 25 trash bins, 25 recycle cans, printed off signs for both, laminated and ready to label. One 30-yard trash dumpster and one 8-yard recycle dumpster on site. We've added information for vendors to the website to help promote good behavior and educate on best practices. We went ahead and took it upon ourselves to add some verbiage and some links within our site to help our vendors become compliant with the city. So we hope that helps kind of bridge the gap there and create a more cohesive situation with vendor signups and the health department, and helps to keep vendors for future events, for other events, in compliance too. So when they go to the next event, the Go Ahead Fest or whatever, they already have those tools, and if they've worked with us, they will know the proper way to file their paperwork and whatnot. So we're hoping that helps the city out as well. Let's see. And there's a link to the vendor sign up there, but again, that's just to help promote good behavior and educate vendors on best practices. There's a link to city guidelines to help reduce waste right there. That's also on our website. We've got the ACHD special event dumpster permit complete. Entertainment and setup plan, tent canopy, fireworks permits, etc. 208 events, Cody and Levi, these fellows over here, their VIP tent will be a 20 by 80. They're coordinating with Mr. Tapper over there. We'll be doing a 10 by 10 vendor tents, a tent for the front of house. We'll have also 10 by 10s for IPD nonprofits, food vendors, and retail vendors in the park. With fireworks, due to some recent mishaps, I guess I should call them, at the State House. I'm only aware of two events that do fireworks at the Idaho State Capitol, Pride and the Idaho Potato Drop. And it's come to our attention in the last few weeks that, and this is just what I've been told, but we've been made aware that due to some mishaps with the Pride Festival fireworks, some non-compliance issues, there was a meeting held a couple of weeks ago between the city of Boise and the State House regarding future use of fireworks at the state capitol. And we just were made aware just recently that due to what happened with the Pride Festival, that all future events will be limited on what they can use as fireworks displays. We went from a large fireworks show that we've done for 10 years in a row successfully to now we've got to go back to the drawing board and figure out how we can make close prox indoor fireworks still look good. So we're working on that. Our fireworks company quit because of that. And so, yeah, they quit last night because of that, citing difficulties working on this. They just basically don't feel that they can provide a show that they can be proud of with such limitations. So we're working on figuring out a way to still provide a decent fireworks show with a very limited, under limited constraint. So we're working on that. We had a plan, but I was not comfortable signing a contract with the fireworks company prior to meeting with you all and ascertaining exactly the floor and the ceiling on this deal, right? I want to know what exactly we can use before I engage with a pyrotechnics company for obvious reasons. So based on that, they declined to do the event this year. So we will be seeking another fireworks company to hopefully work out a fireworks show that is in compliance with the new Idaho State Capitol rules. Did I say that right? Did I miss anything? Okay. All right, cool. All right, moving on. MC production stage. If you guys have any questions specifically about the staging or anything, I suppose now would be a good time to ask, as we've got Mike here, the owner of the stage.
He's here to pick.
Yeah. And obviously we could save that for after the presentation if you want. Insurance and indemnification. Yeah. So as per every year, we were unable to procure an insurance binder for the night prior to 60 days before the event, and we actually can't get bound until 30 days before the event. So we can have that as soon as 30 days prior to December the 31st. We will be including ACHD, the Idaho State Capitol, and the city of Boise on the policy, as well as other partners and sponsors of ours. Community notification plan. We were talking earlier about our wonderful BSU class that we're working with and the students. They will be presenting the Tater Trot once again to 316 downtown Boise businesses, getting them involved and ready for the event, creating engagement, creating awareness of their businesses, creating, just basically networking for them and hopefully getting more people through their doors while promoting Idaho's signature holiday event. Let's see. Notification handout is scheduled for 30 days prior to the event. We also included in the packet we sent over as the sign off, the community sign off list for the downtown businesses. That will go out, and our BSU students, our team there will be going out and facilitating that as well. They will be notifying the businesses of the event name, the time, the location, street closures, times, amplified sound, run of show, map, and contact information. The event lands on a Sunday, so Key Bank and the post office will not be affected during business hours. Neighborhood notification form, again, that's on the thumb drive or the file we send over. Event specifics, supplemental permits include alcohol, vendor, health departments, etc. Our alcohol provider will be, again, the Tower Grill and Tilly the Tipsy Trailer. She has provided our liquor for the past 2 years. And she's submitted that permit today. Yeah, she's sending that in today. Food vendors all have links available on the website. The current food vendors are Poliolis, O's, La Apizaquena, Blackwater Coffee, Smoky Point Barbecue, and the Rusted Dog. The event ID number is 1412169728. United Site Services, they will be providing the same number of units, 20 restrooms, 3 ADA, 5 sanitation, and a mobile heated VIP bathroom. Road closures. Again, that should be on the file. The actual map should be on the file we sent over. We are checking numbers with Shane as the event lands on a Sunday. We've got 2 spots for dumpsters Friday and 25 spots Saturday. And we're confirming Sunday. And the 25 spots on Saturday are on Bannock for the VIP tent setup. Fireworks.
We skipped over Parks and Rec, sorry.
Oh yeah, skipped over Parks and
We
Rec. Sorry,
reserved- and
Summer.
We reserved the park.
We Parks and Rec, we reserved the park. I believe we're all set with parks on that. We will be getting you a check here pretty soon. Crane placement. So the challenges, one we went over already. The fireworks have been an issue. I understand that you know when something occurs that there can be kind of a bulk action response, and other events that might not necessarily have been out of compliance in that respect can be affected by that. And I understand that that can happen, and it's kind of like, you know, it takes one bad apple to spoil the bunch. I get that too. I would appeal to this team to allow us some leeway, as we have had a perfect track record with our fireworks over a 10-year period. We've never damaged any, we've been very respectful of the state capitol and very aware and hypersensitive of its value to our community, and have made very extraneous precautions to prevent damage there. And I understand that the other issue has been the crane and damage to the grass and whatnot. And we'd like to take a minute to just see if there's anything that we can do to ensure, and Steve, to make you feel whole about our fireworks production there. If there is, I'd like to know if there is potentially a path forward to still use some of the same type of aerial fireworks that we've used in the past. If we say we indemnify the State House to a greater degree with a larger policy, or something to that effect, sign some sort of agreement stating that if we do this, then that type of thing. I would like to appeal to you to retain the same operating capacity for fireworks that we've enjoyed in the past. If that's a possibility, if we could maybe have that conversation. Is that something that maybe we could talk about?
I'll wait till my turn, but we'll also take that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
the other thing, I'm just gonna butt in. We did meet with the crane operator. We do have a few options, but we're not sure if any of them are, I mean, we hope that we can kind of figure this out. One of them was, and I know, John, you're probably gonna, there is something they can do where it spreads out. He likened it to me like a high heel versus a boot. That you can spread out the distribution of the stabler bars, but he can't guarantee no damage will occur to the sidewalk.
Essentially, John, what he
Um,
was getting at was placing,
He knows, I'm sure.
you know, the big wide wooden, or whatever they use, the big
pads.
wide pads on areas so that it disperses the weight instead of a, you know, like a high heel would put, or a pylon, which is what they use there.
It's called a point load.
Thank
Over
you.
point
Knew you'd
load, thank
know.
you.
I knew you'd know. So he said that, but there was also talk of maybe even positioning the crane differently onto Jefferson Street instead of being around the corner like we've had it in the past. Jefferson Street is 40 feet, so the stabilizer bars would have plenty of room. So we're just trying to work this little piece out so there's no confusion or any problems this year, and we are ahead of it. Inland Crane met us. They're willing to work with whatever, you know, this year, so we can just make sure that piece is really smooth. And I think
The crane operator, or the manager at Inland Crane, they suggested that we could move the crane north onto Jefferson Street to avoid even having to touch the sidewalks or the grass or anything like that. And that might be a question for you, Mr. Tapper. As far as the fireworks being set up on Jefferson Street close to the crane, would that present an issue at all? Be it the crane being 10 foot closer?
No, I don't think so. I think there's a 25-foot requirement for that kind of thing. So I don't think that'll be an issue. Just
Thank you, sir.
make sure your map is all accurate.
Okay.
we'll turn it over to you guys because we're starting to ask you questions.
I was just gonna ask if y'all are ready. Well, so first of all, I'm very hopeful that the potato can beat the peep. So I don't know who drops a peep on New Year's Eve. I
We're
hope it's
already
a small
beating 'em.
state.
We're beating them by like 2 spots.
Like, I feel kind of bad for the peep. Second of all, I need to know where I can get a cool name like Juice because that is awesome. So thank you very much for the attention to detail. I appreciate going through all of those different bits and pieces. I am gonna completely opt out of the fireworks conversation and leave that in the capable hands of our fire department and state fire marshal. I got no dog in that fight. And I know have we scheduled the safety and security meeting? Yeah, because that's also a good place to just make a lot of sausage when it comes to figuring out how to keep these events really, really safe. But thanks for being back, you guys, and for putting so much thought into the presentation. Appreciate it. And we will start with ACHD.
So we've received your temporary traffic control plan. We are unable to review it until your fees are paid. So we're waiting on that.
The check's in the mail.
Okay.
You should have it in
Checks
your
in the mail.
I know there was a
Great.
3% fee if we paid by card. That's the only reason I didn't do it that way. So
Okay.
you should have that any day.
Great. As soon as we receive it, we'll review that traffic control. We also need to be kept in on the loop on the certificate of insurance, as you mentioned, and the CUP through the city. John.
I'm going to mention a couple of things just because I've been here a long time and some of these things I get to remember. We've discussed the crane and that's great. Traffic control must be set up by the plan. If the plan doesn't indicate it, it's not closed or touched. If the plan does indicate it, it's got to be closed. Head closures and detours must be in the plan and must be implemented. At the walkthrough, you really need to have your traffic control company on site because if we tell you that something needs to be fixed, they need to be on site to fix that at that time. During the safety and security meeting, we can decide exactly the timing for removing the traffic control, but I would like to see the roads opened on the 1st and all the traffic control removed within a day or two. Couple of things that I noticed last year and in previous years, Lost Child area needs to be really visible. Either last year or 2 years ago, it was down at Idaho and Capitol, and it was dark and it was a it looked like a meat packing van.
We've moved it back to where it was better. It's kind of on the map, you can see it there, but it's right at the beginning of, like when you're walking into the dog leg there on the corner.
But it also needs to be really well lit
It
up
will
and
be, yeah.
super visible. No clowns, but lots of balloons and things like that. Another thing that we did notice last year was restroom accessibility. If I recall right, you guys were trying to lay down plywood boards
That
over
was
the
year
snow.
before.
Year
Yeah,
before.
Yeah, that was the year prior, and we solved that by turning some of the restrooms towards the park and some of the restrooms facing the sidewalk.
And then all the certificates need to be separate. So City of Boise needs one certificate, State of Idaho needs one, we need one, and each of us needs to be the only one listed as the certificate holder and as the additional insured. And resident access for the parking garage must be guaranteed unless you coordinate with KeyBank and DBA. So those folks have to be able to get in and out or coordinate with the appropriate agencies so that the city and ACHD doesn't get phone calls at the 11th and a half hour saying we're stuck. Thank you.
All right, Ed.
Yeah, hi, good morning. I just had just a couple quick things. One, thank you for promoting that vendor low waste sky. That honestly means a lot. So thank you for that. And then also just quickly, years past, have you always used the first in, last out crew?
Yes,
Okay, and that's still working for you guys?
he's
Fine.
right here. Alex is right here. We can't
Oh,
get
nice.
rid
Hey,
of him.
Alex.
We've tried. No, I'm just kidding.
No, good. I just wanted to make sure that system is still working for you and working for parks, to just ensuring everything is kept clean.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, great. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Good to see everyone again.
Hi, nice to see you.
Hello. Hey, so I know you covered this, but when does Jefferson close?
Jefferson doesn't close until Sunday.
Okay.
So I know that with the dumpster, I mean, we have the meters, scheduled to be hooded, and we got our special events permit in. I didn't think it would require a street closure just because it goes at a meter, so.
No, in fact, it's kind of a mistake on my part. I told you Friday.
Yeah, you said no weekends.
But yeah, which is normally true. However, Christmas is on Monday, so that pushes everything back for us a day.
Okay.
And we can actually get the dumpster out there on Saturday.
Okay, I'll fix the map.
Okay. I was talking with Vince about the meters. It sounds like you guys are still working things out there. So that's really the only last detail I need from you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dylan, Sandy, thank you very much for working with me. I seen at the very beginning of the presentation about where I need to start blocking the meters off for you and the dates. I'll take a look at that today and draw something up and I'll send it over to you guys. And I'll give you a call, Sandy. So we're set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dinko.
Thank you for the very thorough presentation. I appreciate it. If you haven't already done so, please just submit a notification of the event and a list of all the food vendors to our front office. As you were presenting, I looked up the list of vendors that you had on one of those PowerPoint screens, and I think they're all good to go. So if that's your game plan, we should not have any issues whatsoever. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns for Central District Health, please do not hesitate to contact us.
Will do. Thanks, Nico.
Thank you, Dinko.
Thank you.
Hi there. We'll just need the certificate of insurance for City of Boise listed as additional insured. And then we always like to have a copy of any of your larger vendors. So when you pick a fire or a fireworks, if you can get us their insurance too, that'd be great. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, team. Thank you for reaching out early. I got that email, I think like last week or something. So I appreciate you guys being on it. So your list will look pretty similar to last year. I have a couple of extra names just from the year going by of people that will be helpful to just reach out to directly to get some notifications out. As John mentioned, we do need to maybe chat a little further about like leaving some openings for the parking garage and some other like emergency services that are actually off of Bannock. So I'll follow up with you on that. And there was one other thing so that's, in addition to like making our process a little bit smoother, also a response to some notes that we got from an event that happened last weekend. So it's not, directly responding to you, but just ever making this process smoother. So I'll follow up.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, guys. Nice to see you all back here. Yeah, thanks. You guys have the parks reserved for what you need for your build up. And as normal, we'll take that day after since it's a holiday. You guys can clean up and you did a great job. Our DMT team said that you guys did great last year. I think we just had really minimal billing on that. 208 tents, welcome. For the Parks Department, if you're putting anything up there, any damages, we'll let them know. They'll bill you guys, or we'll bill you guys. And so just make sure if you can get a tent box, that's good for you guys. But any damages, it's really weather dependent. So we're going to be flex and work with you guys all the way up until the day of and the day after. So the vendors that you guys give me when you have them solidified is just the ones that are in the park. So that's what I need from you. So
Thank you for allowing us a little bit of time this year to get the sod and
Yep.
all that placed. And
Yep.
I appreciate you hooking
Yeah.
us up with your contractor and stuff. That was actually less money than we expected. So I appreciate that.
there you go. Well, and it's weather dependent. So, you can
I
you can
know.
plan for the best or be built for the worst. I don't know. So we just, so you know it up front. So anyways, well, thanks. And we'll touch base December 1st. We'll have all of your payments in. So thanks.
All right, Sierra.
Hi, y'all. Thank you so much for all the work you're doing with the community. That was a great presentation on that part. Question. So the restrooms, y'all mentioned some are facing toward the street and some to the park. Could you help me understand that more? Because I see like we've
Yeah.
got fencing around and I know
Yeah.
there's snow and all the fun stuff.
So we make sure the barricade doesn't cover the ones that are facing out toward the sidewalk. And this just makes it easier if there is a bit of weather in the park. It's hard for ADA, even if we laid down plywood to get to them. So we just came up with a solution, actually Alex did, where we turn some of them towards the sidewalk. And that just makes it easier for ADA compliance and for people that don't want to go all the way into the park. They can actually utilize those restrooms, but we use them in form of kind of like a barricade so people can't get through it, if that makes sense.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you. That was my biggest concern is like if those got roped off or they're part of it. So thank you so much. And then my only Beth question, the VIP restroom, is there just one?
Yeah, it's a mobile unit and it has, I think, 2 restrooms in it. So it's just like a heated trailer that goes behind the VIP tent on Bannock.
Cool. Is one of those accessible?
It's
Yes.
specifically for the VIP room too, so it's not going to be
ADA
access,
compliance,
right?
yes.
But it is ADA compliant.
Yeah.
But it
Okay, great.
won't be
I
offered.
just didn't want a VIP human if they had a disability to have to trek around to the other side.
For sure.
Okay, awesome. And my only other ad, y'all have a fantastic website. It's got a ton of goodies. Thinking about people with disabilities or maybe some of those newcomers, like maybe under the info tab, having like an event map or just kind of calling out those accessible features. That way, when folks get down there, it's not so hectic, just so they can pre-plan.
We'll be adding the graphic map back to the website. So we usually
Oh,
hide that
fantastic.
portion and then we'll make sure that you know when it's back up there. But it's similar to our flat map, just a little bit cuter. So it'll show
I
everything.
figured, yeah, strip it for whatever the public doesn't need, but that's all I had. Thank y'all so much.
All right, so we got through the easy side of the team. We'll move on to this side of the team. Cameo.
Hello, good morning.
So, I mean, I was gonna, but you're on such good behavior today, John.
He is very well behaved this morning. Good morning, you guys. Again, I apologize to you guys for not going on camera. But a couple things that I did want to address, and I would like to go into probably a deeper dive when we do the safety and security meeting. One, you have an amazing team with Wes and his team. They do an amazing job and we work really well with them. And I also will be checking this year again to see if I can check out some of Ada County paramedic radios for them. So they have the ability to chat with fire and PD if needed. We'll secure a channel for that. I see where you have medical in the park. One of the things that I'm really gonna want to address is where we park the ambulance. And there's a few reasons for that. One, sometimes a patient is going to need a little more privacy than a tent and that area can provide. And that ambulance needs to be close so that they can move a patient to the back of the ambulance to do modalities that they may need to remove clothing. And also we really need to focus on ingress egress for any transport needs that may arise. So that doesn't need to be done right now, but it is something I do want you guys thinking about. And Wes will be a big part of this conversation as well when we get into the safety and security meeting.
I'll make sure I kind of circle around with Wes and we'll tackle that.
Yeah, so it needs to be close. We can't have it over at 8th Street and for the reasons that I mentioned.
Okay, yeah, we'll look at the map and see what Wes, yeah, I'm going to defer to him because he's the expert on that. So
okay,
we'll get things switched around.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the medical plan, I'm happy to see Wes. He brings an air of professionality to your event, which I really appreciate. As far as that goes, the medical matrix is very available online, so it shouldn't be a surprise what the requirements will be for this event as far as EMTs, paramedics, advanced EMTs, and things like that. This should be no surprises to you there. It's very well listed on our webpage. Sounds like Cameo is going to take care of you guys on a comp plan. I'll have more questions on your medical plan and your comp plan as we get to that safety and security meeting. Just know that. One thing that I think you should consider as we move closer to this event, you guys are a showcase event, as you have highlighted. Some things that come with that are protests, possibly. What you may consider is putting a place for people to protest that is outside your footprint or adjacent to it, so they have a place that you can direct them to. That has come up in the past, and these gentlemen may have some more things on that, but that is something to consider as you guys are more visible with your TV and your coverage and things like that. That is something that you may want to put into it and may add additional security to that. But safety and security meeting, I'm sure we'll have more on that. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. I agree that the protest piece of that, we've experienced that. We experienced that on our very first event. There's a gentleman at the corner of 8th and Main Street, and I was on the stage at the time, and I believe it was MAP Security that was working with us at the time. I think Chuck, in fact, said, "Dylan, we need you at the corner of 8th Street. Can you please tell this guy to stop picketing?" And there's a gentleman over there that had a big, huge sign that said, "This party ends in hell."
And he had his own soapbox too. He had a little box.
And
to
he had a little
stand on.
box. And somehow I successfully, I said, "Look, dude, my mom just died. This is my first event. I'm really doing my best here to keep it together. Could you do me a solid and take it down the street?" And so he packed it up and he started going, and then somebody in the crowd shouted at him and he just turned right back around and set
So
it back down.
We are
So
aware of this, so thank you for bringing it up.
we'll do what we can to mitigate it.
Yeah, I would think with the
alongside.
current geopolitical climate, whether it be the Middle East or the Ukraine, something like that, you may have some stuff like that. We've dealt with this with other events where if you give them an opportunity, a place to go where they have that visibility, it takes a lot of pressure off your event. Work well.
Noted, and we'll make that happen.
All right, Dylan, Sandy, welcome back. A few things here. Of course, special events permit to the fire department like we always do. When you apply for that, can you submit Urban Air's flame effect stuff? I'm not going to make you get a separate permit for that. Just include that in your separate, in the special events permit, all the equipment you're using for that, fuel type and all that. I'm familiar with it, but we need it for record keeping. So you're also going to need a fireworks display permit. And just for clarification, okay, it is not our intent to penalize other events. So the incident you're talking about was a fairly small show. And so it's my opinion that was a manufacturer's defect. in the fireworks. So there was no willful violation of any code taking place there. So I had an extensive conversation with Dawn from Fireworks America. Did I hear you say you're not going to use them? Is that what you said?
She quit last night.
She quit. Okay. So the intent of that conversation was to make sure that we're going to hold you to the fire code like we always have. Okay. So you're allowed to do what's in the fire code with the permission of the state because your fallout zone falls on their property. So you've got to get their permission as well. But the only intent of that conversation was to say, hey, have a fallout zone, just make sure your fireworks fall within the fallout zone, because it's not just their show. We've had people hitting the state capitol. Yours is not too bad. Usually you have one or two that go astray, and fireworks are unpredictable. And we kind of expect that from time to time, but just be diligent about your fallout zone and the size of shells you're using. We're checking them all. But for that particular event, we were going to take measures to avoid that in the future with that fireworks operator. So you're still allowed to do your show within the code. That's the intent.
Awesome. So we'll be able to essentially utilize the same program and product that we have the last few years.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that unless the state has a problem with that. Again, it's their permission.
We're not to the state
So,
yet.
so yes, there you go. But that does fall within the fire code. So
Pins
I'm
and
just telling you what
needles,
the fire code says. Boise Fire is going to require you to adhere to the fire code unless they have a different opinion.
Okay.
We don't want to hit the state house. We've hit it several times with other shows. And so you guys can understand that, right? I know you haven't caused any damage, but we're just trying to avoid that. So it's
Copy.
yeah. Okay. So your new tent company. So I'm going to send you guys a list of very specific fire codes for tenting, exiting, emergency lighting, extinguishers, stuff like that. So we don't run into the problems that we've had in the past. So I'll be sending that over today when I get back to the office. And can we get I know the stage you're using is nice and new. I've seen it. It's beautiful. So I'm kind of excited about that. The electrical looks really good, but could you send over some specifications on that, manufacturer specifications?
Mike's like, right now.
Yeah, that would be
Got it in
great.
my phone.
And let's see here. The other thing is food trucks, are standard on food trucks, 10 feet apart. They all have to have their fire department inspection or we're going to turn them away from the event. I think you guys are all familiar with that. But those are the major things I have. So if you could take care of all those, that'd be great.
You got it, sir.
On the alcohol side, has this been in the past? Has it been bottles and cans or pour only, or what's been the?
Yeah, we typically in the park, we use cans. And then the VIP, we will use cups because we do provide both liquor and alcohol in the VIP, liquor and beer. So, but yeah, so typically it's just cans in the park.
Okay. Or maybe a discussion about pour only, but I don't necessarily think we need to make a change, but maybe just a conversation about it. I don't know if Republic has any preference, but.
Yeah.
I believe we switched over to cans to bridge the gap with the Central District Health and the whole.
And Lynn, the provider we're working with this year too, she's very, she's very easy, like in terms of we need to make some changes or whatever, she's open to however we need to serve.
She just survived a sting operation, so we're golden.
Yeah, that was me. So.
Nice.
No, yeah. So I will work with Lindsay and Nate at Tower Grill on their alcohol permit and all that sort of stuff. So we'll work out any other details on that.
So we did receive the agreement, but we'll wait until after the safety and security meeting to get that signed. And then any discussions we need to have, we'll just do at that meeting. So.
Well, I had really good things to say about our fire partners when they're starting to talk about protests and everything. And then Jesse just totally ruined that. So, yeah. Okay. Excited for the new stage. We'll communicate that, all the needs, all that. That's good. Fireworks. I will do my due diligence to reach out to the state fire marshal. He does have jurisdiction and authority over the fallout zone. Pretty hard pressed. Then we have a new director for the department as well. Same. There's, just so everyone's aware, there's a lot of fireworks that actually do take place for the Capitol. So it's not just one other one that ruined it. There's others ruined it as well. And the video is quite impressive and scary. And I understand that you'd want to do whatever you can do to rebuild the building. It's irreplaceable. You can't put a dollar amount on, I mean, insurance is gonna say you can put a dollar amount on it, but you can't put a dollar amount on it.
No.
Yeah, nose goes. Got you. I got you. This, just so you know, that's where we're at with the fireworks. Not saying you can't have them, but, and there's a company out there that just did leukemia, right? And that one was pretty, they did put on a good show.
Do you know the name of the company?
I can't pimp out other people, but I will share some other vendors.
Okay.
Does that sound good? Okay, thanks, Jesse. You're
really appreciate
earning
that,
friendship
Steve.
back again. City and state, they never get along. I'm the bad guy here. Looking at your event map, there's some questions regarding a food vendor possibly on Jefferson. It's kind of by the cannon, I believe.
Oh, that's the green room. It's an RV for just the artists on the main stage.
Deal. That's. Okay.
What?
You're good with that. I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't have sales right there.
No, yeah, no,
Okay.
it's just, yep, it's just an RV we place there and it's just to keep them warm and put snacks and stuff for the entertainment.
Okay.
They're
And
entertainment.
then the last thing we'll discuss further, but that crane placement, I really think we need to come up with a better plan on that. Jesse might have been everyone's friend on allowing what he discussed, if John and I can come to agreement with that as well. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys looking at what's happened in years past and presentation to really try and make this go better and moving forward. But I will end on a negative note. Damage cannot happen. Grass, like grass is grass, but I mean, that's just people's grass, right? So it's a big deal, and the state is taking a firmer stance on some stuff, not just with your event, with all future events. But excited.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate your willingness to provide some workarounds with us and work with us on this deal. It's a labor of love for us. We don't do this for our health, certainly, and
Or
we
money.
definitely don't do it for money. In fact, we're a few
None of us are here
$100,000
for
in
money.
arrears.
Yeah, right.
There's none of us are here for money. I will add one more thing is when the stage placement, we're not gonna do that at 1 a.m. or 11 p.m. again. That was awful for everybody involved.
No,
So
we don't, no.
we'll
No,
work out a
his
good
stage-
Won't be
plan.
necessary.
So-
This thing, it's set. Mike, how fast do you set up and tear down typically?
The plan right now would be probably to get everything set up the stage the day before, hang everything, and then the day of do the audio. If we're ending at midnight, which it sounds like midnight-ish, I wouldn't imagine we'd be out of there more than 2 to 3 hours, completely out.
I don't know who you are, but you might be my new best friend.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. And thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Rachel had to head to another meeting, but she will have her office contact you guys to get that safety and security meeting scheduled. Please make sure that you do extend the invite to all of your vendors. That does go through you, not through her. So we'll invite you, you guys invite everybody to get on the same page. Your map looks very good this year. Please remember, if you make changes or you add anything, it needs to be pre-approved. And then what is in the park needs to match the map. And other than that, just while your vendors are here, minus the road closure, obviously it's a domino effect of closing the roads, vendors set up, portos come in, your tents get set up. So we have to undo that as well. So kind of on the end of that, we've had issues with traffic control not being able to be picked up because there's still a scissor lift in the road or there's a light in the road or whatever. So they do try and send their team out, the traffic control companies, to get stuff opened up, but then they move it and it's in somebody else's way. It's caused a lot of issues being moved into parking spaces or blocking the meters or whatever. So just try and be mindful of that while you guys are all here and making plans. If you could just put together, this is when the roads close, this is when the portas are being delivered, this is when the tents are being built, and then also when they're going to be undone as well. We've contracted, your portas are picking up on a holiday. Okay. So if you can just lay that out as well, so everybody's on the same page, that would be very helpful. And of course, if you need anything, you know where to find me.
Thank you, Kelly.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Hey, Dylan, if you can hang out for maybe 5 minutes, I've got a couple of offline questions for you.
Yeah, well, yep.
Awesome, thank you. All right, pending approvals. I don't see any agency names attached to these pending approvals. Does that mean they've all been signed off on?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
Just to follow the meeting procedures of not being able to change the agenda once it's posted.
Okay.
We'll list them this way, but please just be due diligent about your sign-offs. If you have any questions or need any assistance, we can certainly reach out, but we have a couple weeks before they need to be signed off, but then also a couple weeks before we meet again. So
I mean, I'm having a good week. Like I've like won my fantasy football week, which made me feel good because I don't know anything about football. So I was like, ooh, and now we have all the events signed off on. I was gonna buy a lottery ticket, but maybe not.
we're close.
Okay, please sign off. Anything else for the good of the order?
Quick update if Sierra could just on Glide on Grove on the status and
Hello. I would take the hot seat, but it's kind of taken. So, yeah, I do have a couple of updates. So she's coming. I mean, it's out there. If you haven't walked by, please walk by and check it out. So far, there have been no issues with other events that are happening on the Grove at the same time, no complaints. So, seems like Capital City Public Market and the Boise Center events are moving pretty smoothly as we cohabitate the area. We met with Parks and ESI and DMT to talk about the tree move, which is happening on Monday, to kind of work through what that's going to look like as this beast comes together. And it does look like, just with the few days of decoration afterwards and everything, that we are a little behind schedule. They're still going to aim to get it done by the 17th, but it is likely that they will have to finish it either the 21st or the 22nd. So we hit a bit of a wall with that, but we're still confident it's going to get done in time for our event, and we'll still, open this bad boy up. You also asked about team changes. Unfortunately, our event and marketing coordinator is no longer with us at Downtown Boise. So we did put out a new position on Indeed and all sorts of other hiring places for a shift lead to kind of replace her. This shift lead either will come with the proper first aid and medical training, or we will make sure that they get it via our sort of tab. And then in addition to me, there's also going to be, the whole DBA staff and some seasonal rink attendants that we have already started interviewing. So
you're still on schedule to open the skate rink on that Friday evening?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just to clarify, obviously there's a map for that evening because it's November, it's the Festival of Trees, it's the market. December will be a combination of the tree, the market, and the skate rink. And then January will be the skate rink and partially the tree. So just so everybody's on the same page, it will kind of change more so for fire and police to get in and around and through, wondering what's there. But the maps are current that Sierra sent. If you need an extra copy, you can reach out to her or myself.
or look online. They're all online. Yeah. Any questions? Everybody ready to skate? Dylan's ready. Okay, thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Anything else, Kelly? All right, we are adjourned.